And good evening to all of our viewers in Arkansas, Oklahoma, and Southwest Missouri. I'm Joshua Weisel, and here is a look at your evening forecast. Overnight tonight, lows are going to start off tomorrow morning pretty much anywhere from 77 to 82 degrees. So we're going to be in the upper 70s, lower 80s by tomorrow morning. It's going to be another warm and humid start to the day before an equally, if not, a lot warmer feeling afternoon for some locations with that humidity factor as well. Now, Oklahoma, our viewers around Tulsa, Tahlequah, Okmulgee, and Stillwater are probably going, yeah, it's going to feel the same today, right? Well, Northwest Arkansas, Southwest Missouri, they're starting to get into the triple digits today. Some of those areas have been in the mid to upper, 90s, and now we're going to be upper 90s, triple digits, pretty much area wide. So, it's going to be a little warmer in areas outside of the Oklahoma viewing area. In fact, a little bit warmer in the River Valley as well. Some heat index values could be anywhere from 100 to maybe all the way 112 degrees, depending on the location. And that's why we have some extreme heat warnings and heat advisories that are issued. So if you're watching on the 24/7 stream, underneath this video, it's going to be a little box that has the alerts. And so orange is for heat advisories, and the pinkish kind of purple, that is for extreme heat warning. So if you see that below, that's what it means. So that's a look at what we got for tomorrow. For the remainder of this evening, like we said, the good news is that time of year, you don't really see that a whole lot in terms of the severe activity. So we can just move past that. But we've been talking about the remainder of this evening, there could be an isolated potential for maybe 1 or 2 pop-up showers, an isolated thunderstorm. Nothing widespread. Some areas may see some activity. It's also kind of one of those setups that you may not see anything at all. It's really not worth showing you future scan radar. I know someone may be asking, what does the future scan radar show? And we don't show them for, activity potential like this because it really doesn't handle scattered to isolated development like what we were kind of expecting very well. In fact, with the last couple of setups we've had, even with widespread storms, it didn't handle those at all correctly. So we're going to skip that, but just take it from us. We may see 1 or 2 pop-up showers, an isolated thunderstorm or 2. We may not see anything, and the algorithm is picking that up. In fact, the Weather Prediction Center noticed a couple areas here and there, Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Missouri have the opportunity for maybe a couple pop-up showers. There could be a couple tenths of an inch associated with some of this activity, but nothing widespread. At least some good news with the heat and the humidity. The Foghorns warning fog outlook, no issues. In fact, the majority of the map is pretty much clear, and so we're not expecting any sort of widespread or really any activity at all tomorrow morning in terms of the dense fog activity. So no issues tomorrow. You can see pretty much the majority of the map is clear in terms of the reduced visibility, and in the River Valley near Mena and Mount Ida, even though there is some activity popping up, notice it's about 10 miles of visibility or more. So really no issues expected to tomorrow. Thank you so much to Foghorns for sponsoring our channel. We're grateful to have them here as a sponsor of Weather 225. And if you haven't supported them already, be sure to visit their locations in Fayetteville. Now that we're headed into sports season, it's a perfect location to go out, watch the game. They've got some awesome wings. Be sure to support them like they support us. And so be sure to check them out. An Arkansas original since 2004, and we're so thankful to have them here on the channel. That's a look at what we got from the Foghorns Warning Fog Outlook. We'll have a look at your extended forecast here coming up. All right, and welcome back. We've shown this a couple of times. It's the drought update, and this was as of last Thursday, and we've got a couple more days before we get the latest outlook. But the only update that we've seen in terms of any major changes, that last update that we got on Thursday, everyone's included in some drought conditions. So this is important because it may not be the highest drought conditions that we've seen, but that dry level, it's kind of, the start of what could be more widespread drought conditions that just continue to build in, or what we call that sudden onset drought. So while many areas are just in the dry category, that's not the highest that we have. it quickly can develop into more moderate to even severe levels in many locations. And the areas that are already at severe levels could start to see a little bit more worsening conditions with the drought as well. We'll need to keep an eye on that. And the reason we're showing you this, I know that you might be going, oh, we don't need to see that again for many of the viewers out there. But the reason that we're showing you this is because as we move on, this is a look at the burn bans that are issued currently across the region. And so, one thing to highlight, Benton County, this one's a little bit tricky because they only issue them 24 hours at a time. So every day until they stop issuing it, they're only going to be for 24 hours at a time. So this one is going to expire tonight at midnight. I'm sure they're going to issue another one and then another one and then another one. It's going to be kind of just a prolonged thing for the future. The other ones are issued until further notice, and it does include Washington County, LaFleur County, Franklin County, Johnson County, and you can see these other areas, Yell County and even Montgomery County, and areas further to the south outside of our coverage area are included in this as well. So that's the burn bans as of today. And then no relief looks to be in sight. We're still into the above average temperatures from the Climate Prediction Center. This is for the day 8 to 14 day outlook, still well above average. In fact, there's even a high risk for extreme temperatures to return. So we may be looking at another extended stretch of weather with those high heat index values and high air temperatures. It may be a little bit of a rough summertime pattern for the next couple of weeks. The good news is the latest update that we got today, the below average precipitation is now shifting further to the south. It was starting to make its way up to the north, but now we're kind of in the average range, which isn't bad, but we need more precipitation. We desperately need rain to help with this drought. Unfortunately, we're not going to see any sort of relief in the near future. Only about a 20% chance for some showers, maybe on Tuesday, as you can see right here. Really warm forecast for the next 7 days. We're going to be in the triple digits, northwest Arkansas, River Valley. Some days could be as high as 104. That's going to be some of that extreme heat that we've been talking about. And we're also going to be keeping that humidity around as well. So, foreseeable future, hot and humid. And if you're working outside, and also now that the school semester is starting for pretty much all the districts in our coverage area, if you have outdoor sports and you're a coach or a district leader, you need to make sure that your athletes are staying hydrated. That's going to be very important because when you got highs that are anywhere from 100 to 105 and you factor in the humidity, I know the districts, they do their best. They're already on top of it with the wet bulb globe temperature, stuff like that. But we need to keep an eye on it the next, couple of weeks because it could be a rough stretch of weather. Make sure that the athletes are staying hydrated. And if you work outside, construction, yard work, any sort of activities outside for a long period of time and physical exertion, make sure that you're staying hydrated. Take breaks in the shade and make sure that it's, time in the AC too. You don't want to overdo it outside the next couple of weeks. It's going to be pretty hot out there. So hot and humid weather continues. We'll be here in the Weather 225 Storm Studios, of course, checking for these updates every day. I know it's technically a boring pattern, but we've always got something interesting to talk about here in the studio, so keep it here with Weather 225.